Okay. Look, hello, we are on the third day of our Linux user group at Infotech. We've got a lot of people today. I showed Raspberry Pi to at least 60 people, and I believe that we'll see maybe 20 people subscribing to our mailing list. So I'll start first with Ajay, who will explain what he demonstrated today.
Hi everybody. I joined a bit late today. Um, yes, the Raspberry Pi has been getting quite a lot of attention, and people seem impressed that they can have a computer that is fitting in the palm of their hand. So I've been demoing OpenELEC, how I'm using my Pi personally to watch movies at home, to play music, and yeah, people seem quite impressed. The recurring question is, are you selling this? And I'm unable to tell them that no, I don't know anyone who sells pies in Mauritius. So you need to buy them off eBay and build a kit from everything. I think it's a nice business opportunity in Mauritius that needs to be considered to sell pie kits with SD cards to people, because it's nice showing the technology. But if I don't know where to get a pie, I'm going to be without a pie. So if anyone interested out there who wants to start a business selling pies, selling SD cards preloaded with Linux, of course, OpenELEC or Raspbian and everything, you're welcome to do it. If there's anyone out of you in Mauritius who has not yet come to Infotech, we are going to be there tomorrow again. So don't hesitate to come visit us. We are at the right of the main entrance, so you're not going to miss us. Besides this, I've been showing a little bit of Linux on my laptop. The nice thing is, when I ask people that, do you know Linux? They say yes. A few years ago, no, I had to tell them. Now they either know or they're already using it, or they are aware that they use it on their Android phone, or it's present somewhere else on the TV or on the router. So that's quite positive news. At least people know Linux and they are using it.
Okay, just a question, Ajay. The kit that you put on display here, can you give us a rough estimate of the price of setting this up?
Oh, I got my kit off Amazon. So it was the first Pi Model B. I got a small cheap casing for it. I already had an HDMI cable. I bought a spare power supply, about 2,500 rupees, I reckon. I got this in April of 2014, and it's still working fine. So getting a computer for less than 3,000 bucks, I think it's a very good deal, and I'm able to do pretty much everything I want entertainment-wise at home.
Okay. So what about you, Christian?
I've been mesmerized today. I've met lots of people, very inspiring, and I've been talking as usual about my robots. So I've been presenting 3 robots: Doodlebot, Finch robot, and Hummingbird. Now with the Doodlebot, we have shown people how we have assembled the Doodlebot from its components, program it with our computer to make the Doodlebot write and draw things. People has been very impressed by it, the way the robot moves, put down the pen, lift up the pen, and do lots of work. It was very interesting. And yeah, I can show you with my little robot. Yeah, here it is. And I've been using the Finch robot now, Finch robot, which is a robot that has been developed by MIT. Now, what's interesting about it is that we can start programming with Scratch programming, which is a sort of Lego. Like you can see, you have blocks where you can just, well, it is not shown on the screen. It's not showing on the screen. Okay, it's okay. It's just like Lego. You bring them on the screen, and then you click on it, and something happened to the Finch. So what the Finch can do now, can do lots of things, right? You can, for example, uh, can avoid obstacles, can avoid obstacles, can change colors of the beak. You can find it following light, taking temperature, avoid obstacles, like I've said before, play music, dance, and many more things it can do. And this has fascinated people. With the scratch programming, now the old people as well as very young people who don't have any idea about programming, the way it is programmed with the Legos and so on makes it very easy for them to understand. And once they go through it, now they are they find it easy. They are interested in doing programming. At a later stage, able students will be able to shift to programming like Python, C++, JavaScript, and harder languages. And they have learned it now from scratch without knowing, without being aware themselves that they are learning programming. So even kids, small kids, as well as grown-up people are very interested in it. And like I tell them, it's a sort of family meeting. When the family meets together with the kids and bring kids like this, they do things which are very creative. You program things in the real environment. You make things happen. So families are very interested. Many of them have given the names. So they want to follow a course on it, a basic course. And they want also to buy these robots. So there's a great opportunity here that we are going maybe to import some robots later on according to demands. We're going to teach them. And we're going to make a community. People want to have a community where we can share. Like I told them, once you buy a kit, you follow a course, you can present something to the community. So we'll have a fair maybe later on where each one of us will bring some project which we have done. And this will be very enriching. It will start from the young people up to people frequenting university. So by just comparing what they've done, what sharing, so there'll be a lot of learning taking place there. And what fascinated me again, I met with a doctor who told me that what I'm doing is very innovative. He wants to work with me because he works in the bones fracture. When people have fractured bones and so on, he tells me that they use actually mechanical means to bore holes in the bones and then put nuts and bolts and so on. He told me that with robotics, we can plan to have robots with certain, of course, devices to go into the legs, I mean, do some like turn around and so on. We can program it to do something with more accuracy. That was fascinating. So the group of Linux users and some other people who like to program, it sort of make us start thinking what we can do in the later future, right, to help that person.
Soon we'll have a Raspberry Pi powered surgery bot.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, I think that it's cost effective as well. And finding
Another thing that I showcased today was the pilot project that we did with JCI City Plus for the computer lab at Nicolet Government School. People thought that it was a really nice idea that we were able to set up a very cost-efficient computer lab at a ZEP school, and we hope that this project goes forward. Even if it's not a Raspberry Pi, or maybe it could be another solution as long as the solution is open source, because I really believe that open source is the way to go forward for education in Mauritius, at least.
And I think, for example, like for parents who are thinking about what can open source do for their kids, we have Amazon who are recruiting.
Yes.
They are recruiting.
AWS are here. They're recruiting for the South Africa branch, I think.
Yes.
I spoke briefly with them. I'm a user of AWS. It works great. And to think that everything Amazon does on AWS is open source is fantastic.
So the same skills that a child learns on Linux at home is the same skill that he can apply in,
Yes,
a,
of
in a
course.
place like Amazon.
It could be their career later on. I myself, I make a living selling support on open source systems. So I don't know, I don't see any reason why if I can do it, other people cannot do it.
Okay. I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, okay, Christian has something to add.
Yeah, I want to add something on e-learning. So I've been proposing a pilot project on e-learning where you have faculties from Form 1 to Form 6, the subjects that we teach in school. I'm proposing something which is different, some essential skills which we want to give freely to students. Among these essential skills, like for example, if a student is learning science, he doesn't know much about economics. So we want him to learn some economics, some short course, so that he understands things around him. Like we have many courses like citizenship. We want to teach children citizenship, manners, about if you are in a queue, you want to go in an institution, you don't phone and tell them you want to go first. Things like that. Like for example, people throwing litters on the beach, people not obeying the code of the road, right? And all these things, we want parents to sit with the children, right? Discuss with them. Now, what sort of course we want to give? The course will be arranged in modules, like 4 modules. It will begin, each one of it will begin with a video, then maybe some resources to read, then maybe some questions which are set to the students where they can write the answers on learning diaries. Once they finish this, they cut and paste and bring those answers to another board where everybody can see, that all participants can see. So they can give their ideas, comment on it. And after this, there'll be a quiz which is based on the old material where the students are definitely going to pass once they have followed this. Now, there'll be 4 modules like this for each topic. And once the student finishes it, he will earn a sort of digital certificate. This which I call a badge. So throughout Form 1 and Form 6, if the students accumulate badges, well, these people, after having done some courses like leadership, team building, social work, and many other things. Like social work, we want students to go in the hospital, in convent, right, with poor people. We want to see them caring for the old people. We want to give them education on that so that we prepare the future, right, the future citizens, which are more aware of things. I've discussed this with many parents. They're very conducive to that. They're very happy. They say they would participate. They would give me materials for that, right? And like I tell them, at the end of the Form 6 school days, the student will come out with an academic baggage from Cambridge, plus essential skills, which make them smart people.
Okay. So that's it for today. That's it. Bye bye.